What's up, guys? Here we are at the test site, and today I'm going to be doing two things. Killing two birds with one stone. I'm testing out some new equipment of mine. I'm working with the SkyAxis gimbal here. Still trying to get the hang of it, but it should help me film a little bit more steadier in some scenes. I'm using it, moving it quite a bit right now, and it's taking out some of the shake factor, because I don't have the most steadiest hands when filming. You probably know that from my previous videos. But I'm pretty excited about it, getting broke in and using it properly. I still haven't. It's fairly simple, but you know, when you're dealing with me, it's going to take a while for me to get the gist of it. I said killing two birds with one stone. We're installing the new off-road bumper here today, and a brush guard. That's not it, the stock. That'll be the last time we see the stock front end on this thing. We're gonna be installing the brush guard and the off-road bumper, hopefully all in today's segment. That's going to be protecting our radiator behind here. You definitely want to do that for you non-car guys out there. I want my videos to be something where everybody can watch, but for you non-car guys out there, behind this grill lies the radiator, and that's gold. You don't want that to go out on you. That holds the coolant for keeping your motor nice and cool. It circulates through the coolant hoses and runs through the engine, helps cool it down. And when you're hitting the trails, you don't want this to get punctured or any leaks to be happening or going on in there. And some rough trails, some brush may be overgrown, you know, different things, and a brush guard and off-road bumper will help protect against rocks coming up, a whole lot of thick brush and wider trees. And in one of my off-road compilations, the angle wasn't caught very good where you could see some of the trees that I was running over, but basically in one of the segments of the off-road compilation in a previous video, I was basically just mowing. It was like it was just the concept of mowing a yard, except for with pine saplings. It was, I mean, I have all respect for nature, but I mean, still, that was pretty fun. With just this stock bumper, it was just pushing it down like it was nothing. So I can't wait to, as soon as we get this off-road bumper on, run it through its paces. So we're going to get into it all. We're going to go ahead and get into it. Going to remove this stock bumper. I'm going to walk through a little bit, you know, but I'm not going to elaborate too much into removing a stock bumper, because it's fairly simple, and there are other tutorial videos out there. You know, I don't want to be doing something that 9 or 10 people has already done 2 years, or they're already 2 years ahead of the game in that respect. But I hope you enjoy it, and you know, hopefully we're gonna get more opportunities to use this gimbal here that's holding it steady. That's some new tech that I'm excited about, and I got more new tech coming in, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so update on what I've done. This right here is the vacuum pump. Kind of confused on what it does. I think it just vacuums things in my Jeep. Nah, I know that ain't true. But I think what it does is it adds more pull to your to help the coolant cycle through your system. I should probably just do like an edit, and then all of a sudden the film magically cuts, and then I'm able to know for some odd reason what this does. Might do some little bit of YouTube editing magic right there. But what I've done is this is connected to the main stock bumper. And when you're removing it, you don't want it, you know, connected as you're pulling it off, because there's, you know, hoses and stuff up in there, and you don't want them to tear or mess this up. So what I've done is I've disconnected it from the stock bumper at these 2 points right here. There's a bolt here. There's a bolt here. They're 10mm. And all I've done is just remove them. That's all you got to do. And now it's just freely floating around in there. And now we're ready to get to work. If you want to just add on this same model bumper, you can, there's some bolts right here that you can disconnect it from right up here. But what we're doing is we're attacking it at the brackets, because we're adding on a completely new different type of bumper. Not going to get too much into that, but as soon as I disconnect it from the brackets, then we'll be in business and ready to start putting on this aftermarket bumper. So you know, let's hop to it. So here's the after. We finally got the XRC Smitty Milt bumper, off-road bumper on my Jeep. It's definitely going to be a tree killer right here. I have a couple of comments on it. The instructions are thorough. Only problem is it doesn't quite line up with my model. I have a 96, and I think this was my, actually, I can't complain that much because it's mainly my mistake. Pretty sure it's for a 97. So there is a spacer, and I don't know if you can see, the camera's probably wobbling like crazy, but there is a spacer right here, and it is supposed to put distance between the steering box. That's right there. There's your steering box. And the bolts didn't line up quite properly right. So we had to do, and it did say the instructions did call for some drilling, but all the drilling in the world wouldn't help it out. So what we had to do is, the bolts didn't fit this. So we ended up using the original bolts. The original bolts were thicker, made out of more sturdy material, so that's good. I think it'll hold up pretty decent, fairly decent. I'm not sure about its pulling capabilities. They said, I've listened to a couple of different forums, watched a couple of different walkthroughs, and it's supposedly very important that you have about at least all 3 bolts in there. And we just got the 3 stock. We just used the 3 stock bolts because the bolts that it came with in the box just wasn't doing the trick. So I'm gonna have to look into seeing, like, if I was to put a winch on there, you know, how that's gonna turn out. But as far as looks go, it looks fantastic. As far as making me feel like my radiator is protected. As soon as I get a brush guard on here, it's going to be Fort Knox. But I definitely am excited about mowing some trees down with this baby. I mean, I love and respect nature, but when you're hitting the trails and you got obstacles in the way, and then your Jeep is just mowing down it like it's nothing, there's nothing like that feeling in the world. So I'm excited about that. And here later on in the video, we're going to be hitting some trails, and well, at the test site, you know, we test things, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put this baby to the see what it's capable of. So we're just about ready to put on the brush guard. What we got right here is a DIY scaffold. We were using that earlier. We needed to set the brush guard up, get everything aligned in place. It helped us make some measurements. That's important when you're going to do drilling, and I'm no expert. I think that's beginning to be my catchphrase on here. Sorry guys, that's beginning to be my catchphrase. But I'm kind of one of those guys where it's like, measure twice, cut once. But all we did, don't be intimidated if you know, if you want to get into this and you haven't really before. 2 things: if you get this type of bumper, the XRC Smitty Milt bumper, it's just a huge honking piece of metal. No need to be afraid of it, intimidated by it. That is all it is. It's just one huge cast iron like giant piece of metal. No wires, nothing you can screw up. So, you know, there's room for mistakes when you're messing around and learning. And if you see right here, I got this drill. We're going to have to do some customizing here for this brush guard right here. But what we did back to the scaffold was we just got 2 cinder blocks, and if you got junk wood around the house, you can lay them in such a way, in such a pattern where you can, you know, sit your jack on or sit it to hold something in place if you ain't got anybody to help you. And that's what we did. We set the that's the brush guard we're going to be using. We set that on the jack, and we angled it, and we kept on tweaking it until finally we had it you know, how we wanted it to set against the bumper, and then we just marked off those where we're gonna need to drill, and you know, where we want it to set. It sits 3/8 of an inch right here. This piece right here is going to rest right there. But we got all our parts marked off, even in the underneath. There's the orange mark right there, if you can see it. And we're about to start drilling. I'm not going to show you guys the whole drill, but you're going to get to see the aftermath and how it looks as it's finally the project's coming to a head and finished. So I got the bolts in right where we did our marks. Everything lines up great. I had to ask my dad for assistance. A drill is one thing, but a grinding wheel is another. I'm gonna shift the camera so you can see. But what we're doing is we're gonna take an extra amount to help reinforce it on the top. And we're gonna cut this right here. We got it marked off. You can see that it's rubber. And we're gonna cut that rubber, and if we can, we're gonna come in with a bolt and let it fit in like that, so to speak. Run a bolt through there, and then run a bolt down through here to help fasten it on. The bottom's tightened down real good. We're just gonna reinforce the top right quick, and when we're finished, I'll show you the finished product now. And if it doesn't work, then I'll let you know. But right now, everything's going pretty good so far. So I should have done this instead of explaining and confusing y'all. But here's the top part that I was talking about that gives it the reinforcement on top. And then what you seen my dad hitting with the grinding wheel right there. Just cutting it close just a little bit right there, so he smoothed it out right there. But we've drilled out a place for a bolt right here, and then that was naturally already there. And then we've took that from the brush guard right there, and we've drilled that out right there. So this, and then after we get the bolts tightened down and in, we're going to do a welding bead. We might not get to that today, but I'd say that pretty much does it. The bottom's tightened down real good, and this reinforces the top. By the time we get done, we should be able to run over a dinosaur with this thing. Alright, so here we are. We've done a quick run through of everything. It took a millennia and a day, but we got it accomplished. We did a rough run through of everything on how to get an XRC off-road bumper on and a brush guard combo onto a Jeep 1996 Cherokee. Any questions? If something you don't understand, please leave in the comments, and I'll do a video on that. Getting anything that is just like, Austin, I'm disappointed that you didn't cover this in the video. Like I said, it was a rough run through. I think, you know, as words of encouragement, I think anybody can do this project. I was able to, so that should be testimony enough. Anybody can do this. I made several points. You know, you're dealing with a hunk of metal, no wires, nothing's going to short circuit out, no mechanical parts that you're going to tear up that, you know, you need working later. It's just basically attaching two hunks of metal onto a Jeep body. You know, don't be intimidated by that. We showed how to make a scaffold. I definitely say this is a two-man job. It's definitely a two-man job, but I mean, if you don't have anybody to help, you know, you can make a makeshift scaffold, couple of cinder blocks, and you know, some scrap pieces of wood, and you're set. But enough jibber jabber. We're gonna get to what you guys have been really wanting to see, you know, the final product. And then I got one more fun thing for y'all. I think my crown jewel of the channel so far is when I did the off-road compilation. But I think this video at the end of it, if you made it this far, it should rival that. Alright guys, there it is, the finished product. Again, post in the comments if there's something I missed. Also, let me know what you think. That's what it looks like. That's the front view. If you see a couple little dings and scratches, don't worry, I'm aware of that too. Sadly, I've done made this video once, and I put it to the test, but I've been having some difficulty with my GoPro. I got it fixed now. I'm gonna do a video on that. It might come out before this video. We'll see. Might be shooting myself on the foot, and I might not even get around to it at all. But I had done put this back. This brush guard and this bumper combo has already proven its worth to me. It's done past the test with flying colors, but everything that we recorded and what I'm saying right now, I recorded this as well. It all got deleted on while I was having some GoPro malfunction, so I hate that. But you know, hopefully this is just as good as what I had pre-recorded before that just didn't make it with the tech malfunctions. But this is the front view, and yeah, the dings and the dents are for I've done put this to the test. At the end of this cutscene, I'm gonna skip to the fun stuff, which you really have been wanting to see. And yeah, you're gonna get to see this bad boy in action. But I'm gonna walk around. Side view. It's not too bad. I don't know. When you get to this point, though, right here, I feel like the rest of the Jeep needs a little bit something more. It's kind of got like, it's like a man with a huge overbite, and then, you know, I don't know, he's like bald on top. I'm not sure. That's just my imagination. I try and humanize inanimate objects. But overall, I love it. I love my Jeep, of course. I'm incredibly biased, but I think it looks mean. I think it looks real mean, but I think its best angle is probably this one right here. And it's just that right there just looks like a beast. But you know, maybe in later videos, could this be a teaser? I don't know. Later in later videos, I'm gonna have more add-ons to the Jeep, but for right now, we're kind of finished with it. We've wrapped it up, and this is the final project. And and now, enough jibber jabber, enough chit chat. Let's put this bad boy to the test.
Oh God, yeah, he's stuck now.